What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of A WAV Podcast, also known as A Wise As View. I'm your host, Wise Kid. Here with me today is my homegirl, C2 from Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Today's episode is going to be a little different from most of my episodes and stuff. This episode is basically going to be me just sitting back and listening. I brought C2 on here today to tell you guys her life story and some of the things that she's been going through that I know a lot of people out here, especially during this pandemic, have been going through and have been dealing with. It's a lot of stuff that people don't like to talk about. It's a lot of stuff that people hold in and stuff like that. And basically, I just want, like I said, this podcast is for it to be relatable to people. So without further ado, I'm gonna let my guest C2 introduce herself, and we're gonna go from there.
What's up, y'all? My name is C2. I'm from Maryland, born and raised. I moved to Florida in 2017 for college. I went to Full Sail, had my bachelor's degree in recording arts. I'm 26 right now. My birthday's, I don't know, should I tell them my birthday?
I mean, it's up to you. As much information you want the folk to know, that's up to you.
I ain't gonna tell y'all my birthday, but, yeah.
So what is some of the stuff you've been doing? So from y'all who don't know, we met at Amazon and we've been cool ever since we met and shit. We hung out, went to Waffle House and chill.
Yeah.
We really grew because we both come from the same similar background, and we both it's from up north. You get what I'm saying? So we both have a better understanding of stuff, and we both find I've been down here for some years and I still find shit in the South different than up north. You get what I'm saying? So we connected, but C2's also left Amazon. So what have you been doing since your time away from Amazon?
Pretty much, I've been working on music. I've been on the studio bus, making beats, trying to network, going out to different events, and I got another job too. So
what's where else you working at?
Gordon Food Service.
Okay,
it's right up the street from Amazon.
Yeah. Most definitely. I see it every time I'm coming home or whatever. They got them fat ass trucks that are always blocking me in when I be leaving and shit. But what kind of music and stuff do you do?
I make beats. So,
just beats?
Yeah, any type, hip hop, pop, R&B.
Oh, most definitely.
Rap,
I might have to get you to make me some beats and stuff so I can use. You know, when I have artists and stuff coming on, so people don't get copyrighted and shit. Yeah, so when I have artists and shit come on, I can play them a beat and let them spit and do some shit, just different shit, mobile. We got to market or whatever. But yeah, definitely let me know what you got going on, and I'll share your shit and whatever. But so for you, what was the moment that you realized that you knew you had to get the hell on from Amazon? What was it for you that really you was no, I gotta do this, I gotta get going?
It's just a toxic workplace. The employees there, they were really just too focused on other people's business instead of their own. So I don't know, it's not healthy, especially for people their age, over 30. You're too grown to be doing that. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on. Gossiping, we don't got time for
that. And it's a lot. I'm still at Amazon, so it's a lot of stuff that's going on and shit like that people be going through, and they don't give a damn about anybody.
They don't.
I know you were going through something right up until, which we getting ready to get into, that you were going through something right up until then, and they because I know Mike, matter of fact, recently, it wasn't this week, it was the week before last. I was we were talking about you. I was I miss C2, where she at or whatever. No, we was talking about rates or whatever. And I was ain't nobody here had a higher rate than my girl C2. I don't care about none of that shit y'all talking about, because they was talking about rates and how they was 26 and shit. I'm she had 32 and 40 and 60, right? She was pushing that shit. So he was when the last time anybody heard from her? I was damn, I ain't heard from her in a while, because I hadn't heard from you. I hadn't heard from you in a while since at that time, and I hadn't heard from E-Man in a while. You know what I'm saying? Have you talked to him? No? Yeah, I ain't talked to him in a minute.
I be sending him stuff on Instagram, DMing him funny videos and stuff, but other than that.
Yeah, I ain't hit him up. I gotta hit him up and see how he doing and stuff. Me too. But basically, Mike was I need you. I'm trying to help her. She don't want. She's not responding. And she took a bereavement, but she didn't extend it. Or I'm trying to help her to keep her job or whatever. And I was like, I'll hit her up, but I never hit you up about the shit because I'm like, C2 know what she doing. If she wanted to still work at Amazon, because I know me and you had a conversation about you was getting ready to find another job and shit. So I just, I listened to his ass, but I'm like, I'm not finna hit her up about that shit. I'm gonna hit her up and I hit you up to check on you, but I ain't tell you that Mike and shit was looking for you. Because I'm like, she grown. At the end of the day, like, she gonna make her own choices and shit.
Right.
So, and basically, like, they only be worried about you because they want you to come back and work and shit.
Exactly.
It's not that, like, whoever came up with 3-day bereavement, that is the dumbest shit in the entire fucking planet. Like, how you gonna give somebody a time frame to where they can grieve or feel some type how they feel about a loved one? Then y'all put stipulations on it has to be immediate family for somebody to get paid. Exactly. And that's mothers, fathers, and grandparents, I think. Like, no uncles. Like, what happened if they were raised by their uncle or their uncle lives with them and they have a close relationship with their uncle? You don't know anybody's situation and who they close with. So if somebody in their family die who's close with them, but they don't meet the Amazon or the corporate standards of family bereavement, they not allowed to grieve. They have to risk either losing their job or losing out on money to grieve with their family. And I know you was kind of going through that a little bit. You was still working and grieving at the same time. And so what was the point to where you decided, I just need to take some time to myself and leave Amazon and say fuck the bullshit?
So I just felt it in myself.
Because I know every time I came and saw you on the OP, you was like going through something in your head. I tried to cheer you up and shit.
Yeah. It's just came to a point where just things were just overwhelming for me. Like, it was already hard enough going to work daily. But then, like, having to deal with the drama and stuff at work was just too much for me. So I couldn't, like, I just couldn't do it. Yeah, so it was too much.
What was the let you go ahead and explain to everybody, like, what was tell the people, like, as much, like I said, as much as you want to tell them, as much as you feel like, sharing with everybody, the platform is yours. I'm going to, turn my listening ears on and turn my talking voice off now. Just tell the people, as much, like I said, as much as you want to tell them about, what happened, and, the floor is yours.
All right. So the situation is really, really, I'm still trying to process it myself right now. I'm still at a loss of words. Still feels like a dream. But in 2019, so let me start from the beginning.
Yeah, we got all the time in the world.
Alright, so my brother, he got locked up in like 2010, 2011, and he was in there for about 4 or 5 years. He came home in like April or May of 2016. And he's just been home. I've been excited. I had this, my brother's name is Ozzy.
Okay, so, that's fine.
Yeah, I had this free Ozzy movement all throughout high school. I had everyone in my high school saying it. Free Ozzy.
If I would have known y'all would have been there saying free Ozzy too.
Like, everyone was tweeting it, hashtag free Ozzy.
Y'all need a sister like her, goddamn.
Like, you feel me? Like, my brother was my best friend. But he came home in 2016, and after he came home, me and him were inseparable. Like, it was us all day, every day.
Most definitely.
You seen him, you seen me.
Yeah.
Then, like, as time started to go by, like, things just got different. Like, he would be more secluded to himself. He would start talking to himself. He would just be in his room like 24/7, not come out unless it's to smoke a cigarette or cook some food or eat some food downstairs or something. But he was always in his room, just
was it like depression or like?
I have no clue what it was. No clue. He'd been locked up for so long. I feel like something happened. Like the
isolation.
Yeah.
He was used to it.
Yeah. I feel like something happened in jail, but he just hasn't told us. like something that really affected him deeply. I have no clue what it is. So. But in like 2017, in like August, things got like real bad for me. So like I ended up going to like a mental facility for like a week. And it was because I think I don't even want to say my mom, she just didn't really discipline my brother. Like, my brother would attack me, like he would fight me. This would be like at random times, like after he came home. He would just be very violent, and I would defend myself. Yeah, I gave
definitely.
I gave him a couple black eyes. You know, I gave him a run for his money, but I would like yell for help, and I would like tell my mom to like tell him to stop, but she would just like look and then look the other way, like not say anything. And then that just took an effect on me, so that's why I went to the mental facility for like a week, because I just felt like nobody really cared for me at that time. It's hard to talk about. I'm sorry.
No, keep your bearings. Like, take your time. Keep your bearings together. Just take your time. You don't have to rush it. Whatever. If you feel like at any time you need to stop talking, or you just want to change the subject, or whatever the case be, you know, this is your moment. This is a WAV podcast, a wise ass view. You just giving you're telling your story, giving your view, and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. I'm listening to you. You get what I'm saying? So you don't have to fear. It's no judgment. It's no anything. You know what I'm saying? I have my mother, who's also a licensed therapist. You get what I'm saying? So if any moment we need to cut, or you need to go and just sit and talk, my mom's she's very good to talk to, and she's very like, so if at any point we need to stop this and you need to go talk, we can do that. But like I said, just take your time, take your pace. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about anything. Okay. This is a WAV podcast. This is a vibe. This is no judgment around here. I'm gonna be here. You're not alone right now. So even though you telling your story, I know you're gonna have to get inside your own head, and basically, like, I want you to face some of the things that you haven't faced. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here to help you do. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? But at any moment you feel like it's going too far, it's too much, we can stop and we can go to another topic, or, you know what I'm saying, take a break, get yourself together, and we'll come back on. Like I said, this is however much you want to talk about, it's totally up to you. I'm here. So like I said, take your time.
I never really like opened up about it to anyone about the whole thing, like the big picture. So yeah, I went to the mental house for a week. I got out, and I thought everything was gonna be okay, but I started hanging back out with my brother again. And it was just certain signs where I just felt like in my soul, I knew I wasn't safe around him. Because he would just play like certain type of music. Like, if you listen to the lyrics, like, it's like
murder,
death, kill. Yeah. Murder, death,
and it's
kill.
not like no like Lil Baby or like them type, like how they just talking about somebody trying them, so they had to do it. It was just
exactly.
Okay.
And like, it would literally just be me and him. So I'd be like, why are you like playing this type of music? Like, who are you referring to? Like, who are you trying to...
Who are you subliminally like talking to?
Exactly, like through music.
Yeah, I like me, I'm a big music person. So when I'm mad or I'm upset, I play the song that corresponds my feelings and stuff like that. Or if I'm like arguing with somebody, or I don't like somebody, or somebody's like in my presence or whatever, like I'll play a song or whatever to let them know that I'm not fucking with them. You get what I'm saying? Like it's this song by DC on Fly called "Take Your Ass Home."
Yeah.
And like it's that song. He's basically talking about like these streets is real out here. You get what I'm saying? So if you can't handle the pressure, so like I had times where some like people would be complaining, and I'm trying to do shit for and help people and shit like that. And I'm struggling, you struggling, but we all trying to struggle. We struggling together, but you complaining about it. If you can't handle it, take your ass home. Exactly. You can either do this with me, or you can do this. I can do this by myself. You get what I'm saying? So I understand like music. People have like who can't vocalize or things that are in their brain. They use music to get them. Because I listen to all types of music, and music's been a big part of my life. I talked about it, and I think like my second episode of my podcast, Empire Music. Yeah. It's been a big part of my life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can relate to almost every song that the character Jamal played. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you listen to the lyrics, all that I've been through all of that shit. The shit with his father, the shit with feeling like he's not strong enough, the shit feeling like the shit with his brothers, you know, arguing with them, feeling like his family is like, it's just all of that family element and all that shit. I've been through that shit. You know, when he felt like he didn't have no money and he had to get out there and grind on his own because his family wasn't gonna support him and all that shit. I've had times where I felt like all of that. Yeah. So music has been a big part of my life. So I understand like how you saying like your brother listened to that murder, death, kill stuff. So you picked up on it and was like, okay, you're not just listening to this, it's a red flag. You're putting this is for somebody or this is towards somebody. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like him playing that music and like him just having bullets, you know, just playing around with bullets in a car. Like not even having a gun, just having bullets. It's like you can tell like murder, death was on his mind, or something just wasn't right.
Or like was it like maybe like the Wayne Melly, the shit where he had the murder on his mind?
On his mind, yeah.
Yeah, like so was it like that he didn't do anything yet, or is it that he had already did it and he was like trying to fight his demons?
He hasn't done anything yet.
Oh, okay.
The thing that he was locked up for was armed robbery.
Oh, okay. So it was just something that, like you said, happened in jail that probably pushed him to the point where he was thinking about committing murder or something like that. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm following you. Go ahead.
So, after I like got that red flag, like my soul just didn't feel right. So I was like, I had to get out. Like I just had to leave. So in like October of like 2017, that's when I moved to Florida for school. Like my mom supported me. But the thing was like, I was so afraid to leave my mom in the house by herself with my brother. I didn't want to leave. But I felt like if I didn't leave, that he was going to kill me. So I left. And I didn't think that he would do anything to my mom at all. Because that's your mother, you know?
Yeah.
Born
came out of her.
Exactly.
And you just think that everybody has that certain respect for like I know like me, like I don't care what the hell my mama did or does to me, she could whoop my ass or do anything like.
But that's still your mom.
That's still your mom, like, like.
Yeah.
So you're always supposed to have that certain amount of respect for your parents.
Exactly.
Even when at times you feel like they don't deserve it, you still owe your parents a certain amount of respect. But it also does come a line where the parents do also owe their child a certain amount of respect, especially when their child is no longer a child.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? Not saying that's what happened in your situation.
He was a grown man.
I'm just speaking on like a lot of parents believe like their way is the only way. And that when a child is a child, that is cool. But when they become an adult, you have to address them. You have to take them outside of them being a child and think of them either as a woman or a man. And kids have to do the same thing. It took me a while. Like me and my mom used to bump heads all the time. And it took me a while to see that she's not just my mom. She's also a woman. She had a life before me. Yeah. And she has feelings and she has emotions outside of mom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's things going on with her mentally, physically, emotionally that she goes through and shit that happened to her in her life before I was even born that she fights every day. Right. You get what I'm saying? So I had to look at her outside of mom and think of her as a woman. You get what I'm saying?
That's what I'm like starting to realize, because I'm going through that with my sister right now. Like I always looked at her as my little sister.
Right.
Like, you're a baby. Like, I have to take care of you. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do this. I have to do everything. I'm your older sister. Like, that's how it is. But now she's like 21. She's a grown woman. And I have to understand that she has feelings and she's her own person at this point. Like,
it takes a minute for us to understand that because, like I said, we always, especially like mothers and even older siblings, and we want to protect the younger ones. It's just that protection, and we've been doing it for so long, we don't know how to turn it off.
Exactly.
It wasn't like I came out and we were both the same age and we grew up. No, you were younger than me.
Exactly.
And I was taking care of you. So now
my
that you
mom
finally
gave me this role to take care of you.
So now that you're grown and stuff, it's kind of hard for me to turn that off.
Exactly. Like, you're still my responsibility.
Like, if somebody's trying you or something, I'm still coming up there and what's up? You feel me? So it's like, but yeah,
it's hard, but I'm slowly starting to grasp the concept.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's gonna take some time. Like I said, I'm not perfect at it. I still do it with my brothers. Like my brother, he just turned 18, and it's still taking me some time. Like my youngest brother, he's like 16, so he's still young, but he has big people. Like my brother is very intelligent. He has like big people goals, and he has big people things that he want to do. You get what I'm saying? And he doesn't live here with me and my mom and stuff. He decided to take his own road, which I've done before. I took my own road and left and stayed with my father and stuff like that, to try to find my own way. So that's what he's doing right now. And that, to me, when he did that, was when I realized that my brother Marquise is no longer my baby brother, because we called him Bam Bam because he's the baby. He's no longer Bam Bam. He's turning into Marquise. I used to always call him Bam Bam and shit. So now I'm seeing him as Marquise and seeing him as his own man, because he's doing the same thing that I did when I was younger. Tried to go out and find his own way. And yeah, he's going to bump his head, and sometimes he's going to realize that his way is not always the right way.
Yeah.
But it's going to take him to go through that before he comes back around or decides to but I hope he's doing really well. You know what I'm saying? He's in school, good grades, doing everything he needs to be doing. So
it's good to hear.
As long as he keeps that up, I mean, I'm gonna support him and rock with him, even if my mom misses him and wants him home and shit. Yeah. But I support my little brother. I'm rocking with whatever he do. So
it's the only thing you can do. Support your loved one.
But if somebody try him, it's just hard, somebody, because like growing up, especially being raised by a single mother and shit, we always fought for my mother's attention. So me and my baby brother, we always was at each other's necks, because I felt like I was the oldest and he was the baby brother. He was getting all the attention and stuff, and I wasn't really getting much. My younger brother, who's younger than me but older than him, he always stayed neutral, but he was always like the good child. He didn't get into nothing. He stayed, so he was really like the good golden child. Yeah. And it was just me, the oldest, who like the disciplinarian when mom wasn't around, trying to make sure shit was this and that. So I was always seen as an adult figure to my brothers. Right. So it caused us to bump heads. They like you ain't that much older than us, nigga. Like, why are you trying to tell her what to do? Like, we all, like, you better come down here and play Bakugan and Yu-Gi-Oh! With us. Like, why you upstairs trying to act like you grown and shit? You upstairs trying to watch the news and while we down here playing Bakugan and shit, and you trying to be upstairs at 8 years old
watching the news
like I'm a grown up. Yeah, so like I used to do shit like that. Like I used to always think like I'm grown as hell. Like I can't be down there doing what y'all little niggas doing. Yeah. I gotta be up here doing what but I be missing it. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm finna go down here. Damn, look, let me go down here and play some Pokemon or some shit. And that's just how it was. So, but like I was trying to be an adult. I was trying to be something that I wasn't, and it kind of caused friction for me and my brothers growing up.
Yeah, because you're still a child.
I'm still a child, and they see me as that, and I see myself as something else. Yeah. So I kind of put on a hat that I wasn't supposed to put on at the time. Yeah. And my brothers was like, "You're doing too much," and it caused friction between us because I was trying to impress mom. Yeah. My brother was needing my mom. My baby brother, and my other brother was just trying to keep the peace. Like, he's always been the peacekeeper between me and my younger brother, or me and my mom, or my young brother and my mom. Yeah. So it was always just that, like, and like anytime me and my younger brother got into it, my younger brother, who's older than him, I gotta keep saying that, the middle child, he always protected my younger brother. Like my younger brother coming in here right now, slap the shit out of me. As soon as I push him, his ass gonna be trying to fight me. That's your younger brother. You gotta da-da-da-da. And it's just now hitting me that he's understood that concept. Like, he's your little brother. Yeah. You just gotta some shit you gotta let roll off your shoulder. Yeah. And I've never been able to do that, but he's always been able to, like, if Marquise and him got into it, he'll turn the other cheek. You my little brother. I'm not gonna fight you. This and that. I've never been able to do that shit. You put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. We finna scrap.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I've always admired that about him. Like he know how to keep his cool and shit. So it's we getting back closer together and shit like that. And you know, but it's like back to the topic that we was talking about. It's gonna take some time for somebody to accept you on the role that you've turned into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you were saying, your brother was at home with his mom or whatever, and you was like, you didn't think he would do anything to your mom because that's mom.
Yeah.
So like,
okay, yeah. So I'm at the airport, pretty much saying my goodbyes to my mom. My mom's like crying. So like at this point, I'm just like, I'm not even sure if I want to go anymore. But then she's just like telling me to go. It'll be good for me. Get out of Maryland, experience something, you know, get my degree as well, get an education. So that's what I did. And in like 2019, it was like the top of the year.
So was it before the pandemic or right around?
It was a year before the pandemic.
Okay.
Because I graduated college February 2020, which was like a month before coronavirus hit.
Yeah, hit as bad,
so, yeah. So like January 29th of 2019, I'm in class. It's like music history or some shit. I get a phone call from my sister at like 10:19 a.m. or like around that time. I never get a phone call from my sister at that time, let alone in class type shit. So I'm like, this is weird. So I answered, oh, let me tell you. So the day before, I felt so sick out of nowhere. Like I just felt really sick to my stomach the whole day, and there was no explanation why. I tweeted it out, and then like the next day, like people were calling me like, yo, like you tweeted this, like, are you sure you're not like, I don't know, like, cause some Africans can see stuff, some Africans can feel stuff, like they have powers type shit.
Yeah, most definitely. Like me, I was born with a veil over my eyes, so I can like see like spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
Growing up, like when my abuela died in Philly, there was a spirit in the house, and nobody else could see it, but me. You know what I'm saying? I've always been able to see like spirits and stuff. So I believe that certain people have certain gifts that were given to them and stuff like that. And I know how I've been like, I'm a normal astral projector. Yeah. Like I know how to like go to sleep, but I feel like my spirit is coming out of my body and on the astral plane and shit. I know how to do that type of shit. So I'm a believer that certain people have certain gifts, right, and stuff like that. So like my middle brother, it's not funny. I take that back. It's crazy. Like he knew this girl. I think her name was Precious. May she rest in peace. I didn't know her. It was somebody that went to school, but he had a feeling that somebody was going to die. Like we were talking about it. Like he was like, I had a feeling like him. Well, he wasn't talking about it with me. He was talking about it with my godbrother Trevor. He's like, I had a feeling or a dream that somebody was going to. I think it was a dream that somebody was going to die, or whatever. And no sooner than that happened, Precious was dead. Yeah, she passed away. And that's not the first time he's been able to do that. Like he's woken up out of his sleep and had a conversation, and like he was possessed a little bit, and he was having a conversation about something, and that conversation, whatever he was talking about, happened a week later.
Damn. Wow.
And it's just been like real crazy, like real. He's been able to do like real crazy shit and see. So basically, you felt like your brother and stuff was, like you said, you was at the airport.
Yeah, so I was at the airport. My mom's crying her eyes out. I felt bad. Like I didn't want to leave her. Like but I knew I had to leave, or else like something bad was gonna happen. And so January 28th, 2019, I woke up just feeling horrible the whole day, like horrible. I didn't know what it was. I didn't eat anything bad. I didn't do anything. Like, I just felt horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never felt that way in my life. Like, it was a new feeling. I couldn't understand it. I was gonna call my mom and ask her, like, I feel horrible, but I didn't, and I don't know why I didn't. So the next day, my sister called me at like 10:15, something like that, a.m. I'm in class. She knows not to call me during class.
Mm-hmm. You know that if she was calling you right now, it was something.
It was an emergency.
Emergency, yeah.
Like something happened. So she calls me, and I'm like, "Hey, Nanny, how are you?" Because her name is Nanny.
Okay.
So she's like crying, and her voice is like cracking. She's like, "Aja," because my middle name is Aja.
Okay.
She's like, "Aja, something is wrong. Something bad happened. There's 5 police cars outside of our house in Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm all the way down in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
And she's all the way up in Pennsylvania, because she goes to school at Lincoln State University, or Lincoln University. So she's like driving down to Maryland as she's on the phone, like doing 120 on the highway. She's zooming. She's like, I called mommy's job. She's not there. And my mom goes to work every day at like 5 a.m. She's there. She works 2 different jobs, so 18-hour shift. She didn't come home till like midnight. She was a very hard worker. She only had like maybe 2-3 hours of sleep a night. So
shout out to these independent women, man.
Right. My dad passed away in like 2005, so she's been taking care of all 3 of us since.
That's that single life of a mother, man. That's that.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer that like women have it. Women go through so much on a daily or a monthly. Like they have cycles. They have all of this shit that's going on with their body every month. Not on top of taking care of kids, on top of taking, like, y'all are natural born caregivers.
Exactly.
And like men are supposed to be natural born protectors, but when the men aren't there in the life, a mother has to become both.
Right.
I'm a firm believer that most fathers can't become natural born, like, well, not natural born, like they can't become like caregivers. Like they only thing they know how to do is protect, and they try to care for you in their way as a father because they're men. You get what I'm saying? And they don't have that natural born. But I am a strong believer that women can become protectors.
Hell yeah.
Like they're natural born protector. Like it's an instinct because they want to protect their child.
Exactly.
So I believe that women like have it. Like they do so much, and that's why even like the courts give sole custody to most of the mothers because they can protect and they can give care. Most fathers do the basic needs of a child and make sure that they're good. You get what I'm saying? But they don't have that teaching, that nurturing, that coddling that you could get from a mother. You get what I'm saying? So shout out to them. Shout out to my mom. You get what I'm saying? So
shout out to all the single mothers out there.
Yes.
Single
doing
parents.
the damn thing.
Yes. But I forgot where I was at.
You said she worked an 18-hour shift.
Okay, yeah. So she worked 2 different jobs at 2 different hotels. She was housekeeper. So my sister tells me she calls her job and she's not there. So my heart just like starts skipping. And I come back into the classroom and I tell my teacher, I'm like, hey, I gotta go. There's something wrong with my mom back home. I gotta go. So like, as I'm doing that, like as I'm packing my stuff, I'm on the phone with her job. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, hey, this is Arabia's daughter, because my mom's name is Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
So
Y'all
this
got
is
some fire ass name.
Thank you. This is Arabia's daughter. Did Arabia make it to work today? And she put me on a hold and said she was going to check. So she came back to the phone and said, no, Arabia didn't make it today. Is everything okay? Your brother came in early this morning and said your mom had a heart attack and is in the hospital. So that's when I like start freaking out. So I called the non-emergency police line in Maryland, in our division or area. And I gave them our address and I said, hey, there's like 5 police cars outside of our home. Do you know what's going on? Like, I need answers or something. And I give them my phone number and they said they were gonna call me back. So like 10-15 minutes later, I drive from like school back to my apartment. I'm like pacing up and down. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then the lead detective like calls me. His name is Detective Mike. He's like, hey, is this a C2’s? Is this the daughter? And I'm like, yeah, hi detective, how are you? And he's like, I'm well. This is Detective Mike, the lead detective of the whole thing. And he's like, I have some unfortunate news to tell you.
What's up, crew? It is your host, Wise Kid of A WAV Podcast, also known as A Wise Ass View, here to talk to you guys about this new Each One Teach One movement that I'm getting ready to start. If you guys seen the recent video that I've done with my guest C2, she talks about the passing of her mother and how she hasn't been able to talk to anybody or tell anybody what really happened in fear of being judged. Also, she felt like she couldn't trust nobody or couldn't talk to anybody. So the movement that I am starting is called A WAV Society. In A WAV Society, it will be me, C2, and many people like you and I who have problems and things going on within ourselves that we feel like we can't speak about because of how society or our peers or even the people that are closest to us are going to react or treat us different. So in this society, we will be talking about things like mental issues, things like problems that are going on with us emotionally, things that are going on with our bodies, things that are pretty much that we can't talk about with anybody. It is a safe place. In this society, we will also have where my merch will come out. A WAV Podcast has merch getting ready to drop, you guys. For the society, it will be exclusive only for people who will join the society and want to be a part of this movement. I also have merch coming out for A WAV Podcast for people who will support the podcast and love it and just want to rock out what we're wearing. So I will have hats, t-shirts, and hoodies, but they will be for different things. So if you are interested in joining the society, if you have stuff that you want to talk about, and even stuff that you probably have never shared with anybody, come on to A WAV Podcast and let's get it talked about. This will be a different segment from the original podcast. If you don't want it recorded, it won't be recorded. This is a safe place. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is your host, Wise Kid. I am out. Peace.
And I'm just like, no. I just like break down, like, no, this can't be real. Like, at this point, it feels like a dream. Like, when he says he has unfortunate news to tell me, because, like, I always hear that on the first 48. Yeah. I never thought it would be my reality. So, like, I'm just like, no, don't tell me. And I start, like, screaming. And then, like, when I calm down, he's like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your brother killed your mom. Your mom passed away. So then after that, I just drop on the floor. My roommate like tries to catch me, but I'm just like on the floor, like inconsolable at this point. Like, it's a shocker. Like, it didn't feel real. So after I get off the phone with him, I call my sister, and my sister's just telling me she's gonna go to the police department with the detective, answer a couple questions. Oh, the detective also told me He said when the police officers tried to enter the home, the door was locked, so they had to like climb through a window. Um, and they were just like saying, "Police, police." They said my brother was coming down the stairs with like putting on a shirt, and then they like try to apprehend him, but they like, I don't know, it was like a welfare check. Somebody from my mom's job called, so the police were trying to like come into the house, but they had to go through the window. They saw my brother coming down the steps trying to put a shirt on, and they were like, "Hey, we were knocking on the door, why didn't you answer?" Then like another police officer saw blood on the floor, so he like went to go investigate. So one of the other police officers was like, "My brother is like apprehended or some shit." They like sat him down in a chair. They said he tried to like grab the gun from the other police officer. So they like,
going through my body.
Yeah, they like had to wrestle him to the ground before actually like apprehending him. And he was just talking like crazy stuff. He was just saying stuff that nobody would in their right mind would ever say. Like that's what the police officer is telling me. And then they say they like searched the house, they opened up the laundry room, and
so how did the police know to go to the house? Like, was it
because my brother went to my mom's job at like 5 a.m. early in the morning. My mom usually gets to work at that time. So, and she's never late. She never takes a day off, none of that. And if she does take a day off, she lets people know beforehand, like several days beforehand. So this is something that's never happened. So my brother showing up at her jobs, both her jobs. One of the jobs, she's been there for more than 20 years. So she's family there. So of course they're gonna do like a welfare check or something. Like it's 7. Yeah, it was like 7 o'clock, and she still hasn't showed up for her shift. So something was wrong. So they called the police. They did a welfare check, and that's how they got my brother. And since that day, it's just been hectic. Very, very hectic.
Wow. So in the January of 2021, all that came back. And that's what was going on with you at work and stuff, like in the beginning of like the year of 20, because like I knew something happened like with like your mother, and I knew you lost your mother, and then you had told me that your brother had killed your mother on the OP, but it was like I could tell that it was like hurting you and shit. So I tried to, say or make a little joke, or not about the situation, but just to brighten your smile or make you, laugh, so that way you didn't. And then I know that later that day, we were I seen that you were down, so you know me, like I'm telling everybody that I'm telling, like Kim, Liège, I'm like, have y'all make sure she good, everybody, like I'm going up to everybody, like getting hella TOT at this point, like I need y'all to, when y'all see her, make sure she good, check on her. I don't give a damn if y'all get on her nerves, make sure she like straight, because and I even told you I was gonna do that. I'm like, I'm gonna be checking up on you, making sure, I don't care if I'm getting on your nerves or whatever.
I remember that.
You get what I'm saying? So I was telling everybody, like, I'll make sure she's straight. And then they was like, I remember because we was doing roll call. Like, it was spotting you. Like, anybody seen C2, check, copy. Oh, I see her. She on aisle so-and-so. Okay, cool. How's she looking? Is she good? She don't look like she, all right, cool. An hour, maybe 30 minutes later. I know we was doing it every break. But we was also doing it, like, probably every 30 minutes, checking and seeing, make sure that you was good. And I remember, I don't know who told me, I don't know if it was Kim, I don't know if Liège. Somebody said you went home.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, she went home.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna hit her up. And that's when I hit you up, and to make sure that you was good, and you told me that you had went home. And then after that, I was going through some of the stuff that I was going through and at home or whatever. So I had, me and you had lost a little bit of communication with each other.
Yeah.
And that's when I hit you back out. After Mike had asked for you or whatever, I was like, okay, well, he asked for her. Let me check on her, and then that's how we got back to you know, talking and making sure each other was right. Because we didn't talk for like, what, a week or maybe two?
2-3 weeks.
3 weeks, and that was not common for us to, you know, make sure that each other was straight. Cause like I know, like when I came to work and you know I was going through shit with my mom, he was there, you know, saying you making sure I was straight and shit. And
I like to make sure everyone's okay.
oh yeah, most definitely. We got that. We got that in common. We try to make sure everybody around us and everybody in our circle or who we call our friends. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't use that word lightly.
Absolutely. No, I learned my lesson. I used to think everyone was my friend.
Yeah, me too. I've always wanted to make friends and turn my friends into like a family, whatever. Because I'm also a strong believer. Like sometimes your family ain't necessarily your family.
Right.
Sometimes blood ain't thicker than water.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so I would always like want to have a friend and have somebody that I could talk to and shit, and I call them my family. But I will also realize that sometimes blood might not be thicker than water, but your blood will be there. You get what I'm saying? Before that so-called friend would be. So it's a pick and choose. Sometimes like you can't pick and choose your family, but you can pick and choose your friends.
That's true.
So with that, when I learned that, I'm like, okay, you my friend. If you do some grimy shit or you do some shit like that, I can easily cut you off. I consider you family at one point, but you're not my family. Yeah. Not no more. You get what I'm saying? You can cut your family off, like your blood family off, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that's going to change them from being your family.
Exactly.
They're just not in your immediate family no more.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But with a friend, you can pick and choose. And there's a lot of friends that I know, like, but the funny thing is a lot of my friends, I found out like we were related.
Damn.
Which is the crazy thing.
Really?
My dad's side of the family, they be making kids, goddamn. So everybody in our mama, like all of Cobb County.
Yeah. Damn near your cousins.
My cousins.
Wow.
They got a town in Cobb County called Babyland.
Yeah.
All of my cousins. Damn. And they call that Babyland because they have so many kids over there every year.
What?
And all them motherfuckers is my family. So
how many times you visit Babyland? When
I stay with my dad, I visited Babyland a lot.
Damn.
Just to go see our family and shit like that, and just to get back and reconcile with here, Janasia. Here. Okay, can you handle that for me too, though? That's Michael. Okay. But so it's just I really, you know, I'm happy that you were able to talk about it. And
yeah, because I'm like slowly trying to just release all the pain, because like what I do, it's not healthy at all, but I just hold stuff in. I hold a lot of stuff in.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it's just, I just don't really feel comfortable with talking to people or letting my guard down, because like people, they usually like take advantage of me, or like I would think they're my friend, but in reality, they're really not my friend. They would like talk about me behind my back, make fun of me, you know, just.
And it's like you never know who you could really trust and really could confide in and tell this story, like talk to, like, and that's like my thing too. Like I've had to build a guard up so much.
I had my guard up, yeah.
That like I've even times like in high school and shit, like I tell people, like, especially I moved around in school a lot. So I would tell people I didn't know, I came from Hawaii, I came from this, I came from that, because I was embarrassed of where I, like, being broke and homeless and all of that stuff. So people in school, you know, made fun of people like that. Like, I've always been, so you got the popular kids, you got the nerds, then you got the lames. That's in every high school and everything. I was the nerd that was cool with all the popular people. Like, I was in the inner circle, but I was still on the outside of the circle. You get what I'm saying? Because I was the kid, like they all hung around, we all chit-chatted because I had swag, I had this and that, but I was also very intelligent about my shit. Graduated with a 4.5 GPA. So I was always the smart kid and shit. And at times I used to think like they trying to use me because I'm so smart. Yeah. But I've actually gotten to know a couple of them. They were popular kids and shit. And they turned out to be real cool. But for the kids that ain't really have that or couldn't really do that or always like couldn't, they had to find friends in their inner circle. You get what I'm saying? So going to school, I would tell people to try to fit in. Like I'm from this place, that place, this, I did this. My dad's this and that. Even though my dad wasn't in my life, it was definitely like into middle school, into high school, and I was dealing with my daddy issues. Like they hit me hard. Yeah. And that was like right around the time when Empire came out. Oh, shit. And I seen that he was dealing with his daddy issues, and that's how I was able to connect and relate to what he had going on with his daddy and stuff like that. So in high school, especially middle school, I used to just lie about who I was because I couldn't trust nobody. Yeah. I didn't feel like I could confide in anybody. Yeah. And it wasn't until like really high school, like my friends now, like in middle school, like Shania, Imani, Nikedra, Terrence, anybody that I really hung out with back in my middle school days and shit, they just now found out the real person who I was. And that's what I really did this podcast for, was to tell my truth. Yeah. Because I know I've lied to a lot of people about who I really was and where I came from because I was embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? And it was the times where like my friends and stuff would go out and do stuff and I couldn't go, I couldn't do it. And I would be able to go, but I only really had $40 in my pocket. They out here balling with $200, $300, $400. Yeah. And I only got $40 in my pocket. I can't do what everybody else was doing.
Same. Yeah. Same thing.
So
like, I couldn't, my friends would go out all the time and go out to eat, to the mall, all that shit. I wouldn't be able to go. And if I was able to go, I always had to take my little sister. And my mom would never give me money, so.
Yeah, so it's finding those people that you can confide in and trust in and stuff like that. And me and those people that I just named, we were real close. Yeah. It was just like, I just didn't, like, especially when it came to females, like, I was really always cool with females. Yeah. Like, the guys and shit, like, because guys, to me, always did grimy. I grew up with females. Yeah. My mom raised me, my aunts and everybody raised me, so I was always more comfortable with female. I didn't like men disrespecting women. I didn't like all that shit. Yeah. So, and men trying to have sex with 3 different women at different times, but have a girl. I didn't like all that shit. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't really mix and mingle with the guys too much because I didn't like the type of shit they was on. Right. So I always hung out with the girls and shit. And as a man, you don't want to seem weak or you don't want to seem less than in front of a girl. You know what I'm saying? Even if they just your friend, you don't want to seem like you poor. You want to, because all the dudes that she hanging around, all her male friends, they uppity, they got money and shit. So you want to be just like them. You feel me? So it was a battle of identity crisis for me. And I felt like I couldn't confide in anybody. And I had to lie. It wasn't until recently, like, I would probably say my high school year when my mom got the townhouse in Villa Rica, where we was able to, I was having friends come over. I had like a close circle of friends, my partner Ace, my brother Josh, Malik, my cousin who was just here. Like all of them knew the real me. They knew my real struggle and shit. And it was surprising because it was like actual, like, I thought the only people that I would be able to confide in were females. And it was just weird to see that it transformed full circle. And now that the dudes that I avoided in middle school and high school because I didn't want to be embarrassed and stuff, are now the type of niggas that are my friends, because these niggas that I'm with right now, they were all popular. Yeah. My cousin, Ace, Malik wasn't as popular, but he was like known in the school. He was like I was on a higher level than him, but we was like kind of even as well as our popularity in high school. I was just more known to everybody. Right. Yeah.
I was the same way. I was known throughout the whole high school. Like I was the class clown, so I just made everyone mad. Like I knew everyone. I
was the person people came to talk to about anything and random shit, and just Kyrie having conversation and shit. But it was like I always had a squad with me. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I ran into some shit, I had some problems, I always had a group of friends that was down to do whatever.
Damn.
That was the type of nigga I was. I always, took care of my own. And me and my cousin, I knew I had to let that nigga in about my life and shit, or felt comfortable because he seen me get an ass whooping.
Damn.
So I'm like, you go to my same school, you see me get an ass whooping, shit, we cool now.
Yeah.
I ain't got to hide shit from you. Hell no, and I was still in high school. Shit, I ain't get no like belt whooping. I got like hit and shit like that. I'm grown. Ass whoopings ain't gonna work for me because there's a lot of shit going on now with parental abuse and shit. You heard about that Kirk Franklin shit?
Yeah, his son is like 33 years old though. Like,
Right. So why is he playing the victim when you're like, how your parents growing up, they be like, if you act as an adult, I'm gonna treat you like an adult, and they make empty threats.
Right.
Well, if you're acting adult and you're an actual adult, so all them empty threats that I gave you when you was a kid, you can get them shits for real right now.
Right.
And so
that's crazy.
Your father is also a gospel singer, and he's famous.
Yeah.
So why would you record something when y'all going through shit? Ain't nobody on this earth ever
that can mess up.
And there's no parent on this earth that ain't ever not made no empty threats to their child or say they gonna do something and not really do it. Type shit.
That's what parents do.
That's what they do. That's how parents and shit raise their children.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it was for me to read that and see that shit and see how social media was taking it and how they were like, I seen a lot of people comment, oh, he's wrong, that's parental abuse and all of this shit. I'm just like, how's that parental goddamn abuse when he's 32 years old arguing with his, and then he only did a snippet.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't even record the whole conversation. So for you to put that out there like that shit,
flip it.
Yeah, that shit was grimy.
Flip the narrative.
That shit was grimy in itself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want to say something?
I was gonna say parents do that too. Like, it's always like two-sided. It's with the parents.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because parents could be like, they could run around tell their friends that
that's
your
what
child try to
do.
hit you. Yeah, like when you try to block them from hitting with something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So yeah, it is. It's both folds. Like parents do some of the same shit too, and it's just like that childish mindset. Like I ain't trying to kill you. I ain't trying to hurt you. And then for the son, I'm not trying to hurt you. Like I just don't want to get hit by the goddamn belt. It's a natural instinct to
block it or
block or do all of that. So it's just the shit's just crazy. Like that shit is very wild how you try to portray somebody, and that's all people. That's nowadays like your image of you is more important than the actual you.
Exactly. Like if you're a vibe, people will fuck with that. But like once they actually like meet you or like get to know you, they'll be like, oh, you're not this person that you portray to be.
Yeah.
Or
if you are the person that you portray to be and you have one mishap or anything like that, you're no longer the vibe.
Exactly.
Like you're no longer cool because you're human and you have one hiccup, you have one mess up. You know what I'm saying? Who you portray, like on this podcast, I'm Wise Kid. But y'all know me as Kyrie. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So Kyrie and Wise Kid are one and the same people.
Yeah.
But they are two different people. Like this is who I am when I'm talking to you guys and stuff like that. I'm more professional and more like, you get what I'm saying? But I'm speaking my truth.
Hell yeah.
And I don't have a different persona. I fuck up too. I do all of that shit. But certain people, especially like in the music world, if you're a gospel singer and shit, they don't expect you to cuss your son out, whoop your child, and do all this shit because you're a gospel singer. But you're also a man.
Exactly. Yeah. That's just something he loves to do.
And you're also human. You just love and you have a connection with God. But you're not perfect.
Exactly. We're all human.
We're all human. We all sin and fall short. You get what I'm saying?
That's why I don't understand why people judge other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, most definitely.
Nobody has room to judge anyone.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. I can't cast shit because I've sinned, you've sinned, everybody
sin.
We were born into sin.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
There's nobody on this earth that's perfect, ain't never fucked up, ain't never did shit. Exactly. So just because they made it by the way of God and singing gospel music doesn't mean that they're not entitled to have their days.
Exactly.
Someday they don't want to listen to God, or not saying he didn't want to listen to God or want to think like what would Jesus do. Not everybody. Sometimes the situation don't require WWJD. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fucks up. Ain't nobody gonna keep thinking what would God do or this and that. No, they'll have their moments where they just themselves.
Right.
And they want to do what they want to do and say what they want to say.
Exactly.
And especially in the heat of a moment. Ain't nobody, I know plenty of people who don't, when you're mad and shit, you don't think about the shit. Now, when you're calm and you calm down, then you think about your actions and like, oh, I should have did this. I could have did that to de-escalate.
Reacted better.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I tell people, especially when people who try to give somebody advice, you got to still think of it as in the time space that they were mad. Because when you're mad, you don't take the advice that you're trying to give me, you don't take.
Right.
That's
So-
why it's important to put yourself in other people's shoes.
Yeah,
That's
most
true.
definitely.
That's true. Absolutely.
That's just been
Understanding each other and vice versa.
yeah. So go ahead and cut. So and like with the gospel and stuff, I know you do music and stuff too. So what really got you interested in music? Like for me, I know music was a way for me to like talk and heal myself within. Like it was like a for me to get my emotions out. So what drew you to music and even wanted to make you want to make music or make beats and stuff like that? Like what was it?
Well, honestly, like music is just in my blood. Like in Africa, my aunt, she was a famous singer till she passed away. So it's just always been in me. You know, I've been around music my whole life, or live instrumentation, and
That's
know,
what's up.
just-
That's dope. So when you came out of high school, when you came out of college and stuff, what were some of the things you did after that in like the music world?
So after college, I moved here to Atlanta. I think within the same month, I got an internship at C2’s studio, but then like I stopped because like shit was just bad for me, like mentally.
Yeah, most definitely.
And after that, I just started just making beats heavy. I now do the studio bus, so I like record people, whatever they want to
Have you met any like famous people or
Hell yeah,
shit
all
like
the
that?
time,
Like who's
all
the
time. I did social media management for people on Atlantic and Interscope. So
Oh wow, word?
yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
So, all the time.
Who's like some of the like most memorable moments you've had with some like popular
Young
people?
Thug.
Young Thug.
Young Thug, always like I love Young Thug. Young Thug's my favorite artist of all time. Like he complimented me on my sweater. He was like, "You have a nice sweater." I was like, "Thanks. I like yours too."
How many times have you met him?
Oh, a lot.
A lot?
Actually, yeah. He be at the studio a lot.
Damn, I know. Yeah, Thug, that nigga be making some dope ass
He
shit.
locked in,
Yeah, his shit always like the level of talent that man has is on a whole nother level.
It's crazy. Like I always been a big fan since he like ever since I heard Stoner, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a.
But that was my shit. But
Yeah.
I remember that shit came out. But niggas walking around in white tees. I'm a stoner. Hey, we
Stoner,
turned up.
stoner,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I remember that shit. Be in the car with my mama, bro. That was one of the songs that everybody it's a bunch of other songs, but it was like, you know how what was the name of that song that everybody sing all the time?
Which one?
Danny Glover.
No, it's a song that anytime the song come on, everybody know
Lifestyle.
every word. Lifestyle.
Oh,
Stoner was like
yeah.
lifestyle for me. Like I knew every word. Anytime that song came on in the car, everybody knew every word, rapped it all, and you just had that you just stand there like, you just be rapping and trying to out rap each other like, nigga, you finna fuck up. I'm finna keep going. I know every word. Like
Facts.
that shit hard.
Yo, I'm a Thug fanatic. Like, and
Have
who
you
could
did any
tell
beats
you?
for him?
Mm-mm.
Not yet.
I want to. I met like damn near the whole YSL. I met Key's engineer. Key owes me money too.
Key.
If you watching this episode, you owe me money.
You owe her
I
some
want
money.
my money. Shoot. But his engineer told me to send him some beats so that he can like play for Key and like sell them.
Okay, that's dope. Most definitely. Like I said, I'll pay for your beats. Like I support black businesses. You feel what I'm saying? I support the grind. So definitely get in contact with you and get some of your beats and stuff. Cause I got
send you some too. So.
Yeah, most definitely. And if I decide to use them, I'll pay you for them.
All right.
And then cause I have like she's like my Celeste. She's technically like my aunt, but she's always like a cousin type of, like we got that cousin sister type, brother sister type relationship. Like we just close. But she's my aunt's best friend.
Dang, okay.
But I think of her as like my cousin or like my sister type. But her boyfriend, John, he does beats and stuff too. Okay. So having both of y'all like that shit'll be hard. Having two different people who do beats that I can use and shit like that. And that shit'll be dope, man. Most definitely, and help spread your beats out into the world, man. But that's really cool. Thug.
Yeah. Thug. I see T.I. all the time.
Oh, but believe it or not, T.I.'s my cousin.
Swear. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
On my dad's side of the family.
Wow. So Tip, Damani.
I haven't met any of them. Yeah. I haven't met any of them.
Okay, but
my dad's side, like my dad told me like they were a family. Like he's been to a lot of the family reunions and shit like that. And that was like growing up, like when my dad told me that, like growing up, I used to always tell people that I did meet him. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I'm poor, I was embarrassed. Like, but my dad told me that, like, I know the person who I met, the closest person that I met to T.I. is Charlie Joe.
Who's Charlie Joe?
It's our uncle. That's T.I.'s uncle, Charlie Joe Harris. And he stays over there around Babyland.
Is that on the west side?
That's in Cobb.
I don't know nothing about Georgia.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally like, we're in Douglas. That's like 15, 20 minutes away from
me. So it's like Douglasville, Lynthia Springs, Austell, Cobb County.
Yeah. So
I still don't know.
Anyway, I know Charlie Joe. I met him a couple times. His last name is Harris. And T.I.'s real name is Clifford. Yeah, so his last name is Harris. That's the closest that I've come. We've had like a bunch of family reunions, but I heard that one incident happened where he came to one of the family reunions, and it's a family reunion, and he was singing or music was playing, and like our female cousins and stuff was twerking and trying to twerk on him and shit. But it's like, that's y'all cousin. Yeah. Cut that shit out. So I guess, and so I ain't never get to go to, like the last family reunion we had was the Phillips family reunion. I heard he was supposed to come, but I'm pretty sure with all that shit from the previous family reunion, all that shit kind of hit that shit in the bud. But
people like to do family reunions, but it's always some shit at a family reunion.
Like, especially when one of your family members is famous or whatever. But yeah, I'm really talking about my dad's side of the family. But me not being in my dad's life, like my dad's met him a lot. So has my grandmother, Maylene. She's met him, and I'm pretty sure Shamey, my uncle, and my uncle James Michael. And they met him, but me growing up and not being in my dad's life and shit, I didn't get to meet my dad's side, a lot of my dad's side of the family. So that stopped me from being able to meet T.I. and all of that and shit like that. And like when I tell people this story, they don't even be believing me and shit like that. But I don't do it for the clout, and I don't do it I just do it when if it's brought up, I just say it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for no clout. It ain't for none of that shit. I ain't met the man. For all those people who I did tell I met the man, a nigga was just embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling and didn't come from shit. That was the only clout I had in high school that I could say that I could rep. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what this podcast is about. It's speaking my truth and speaking everybody else's truth. That's why I call this shit a wise ass view. Because now younger, I did shit that wasn't wise. You get what I'm saying? And now that I'm wiser and I'm older, I'm learning and trying to go back and correct some of the mistakes and tell the truth on some of the lies that I told when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no excuse for lying and shit, but shit, when you ain't got shit, you ain't come from shit, and you got a family member that ain't come from shit either, but he got shit now, you clout chase off of that shit. And when I was younger, I did a little clout chase, and that's all that shit was. But I'm a real nigga now, you know what I'm saying? So I've always been a real nigga, but I'm not embarrassed about telling my truth and about fixing some of them lies. It take a real man to do that type of shit. So that's what this podcast is for. It's for motherfuckers that want to actually come out and tell their truth and to actually be 100 with themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking to you and shit, but I'm actually healing certain things that I have going on with me. You know what I'm saying? It's small to other people. Like, yeah, you lied about it in high school, but to me, it's like that was a big thing, like lying to people.
Yeah.
And then when they, like, that's why I couldn't let people really close to me.
Yeah.
Because I told so many lies that if they came close to me, they found out it wasn't true. And so that's why I always kept people at, you know, at bay and shit.
Damn.
I would tell little white lies and shit like that just to clout chase when I was in high school and shit like that. But anything that I've told people recently from my other job, like once, all that shit is true, okay? I ain't lied since. I was in high school.
I would be so transparent. Like in high school, I was so transparent. People took that to their advantage and like fucked me over. Like people made fun of me so much.
That's why you can't. That's why I couldn't really trust
me
people because I used to think everybody was my friend.
Exactly.
And when I tell people stuff and they go back and like tell other
their
people,
friends, that's
and
not
that's
my
not
friend.
That's not their business.
Exactly.
And then they want to go judging you.
Exactly.
That's what we call backstabbers.
Exactly.
And that's why I couldn't really.
And most of my friends were dudes anyway.
Yeah.
I was more closer to dudes, and because I have a brother.
Oh.
So, when I was in school, he looked at me like I was his brother. My brother.
Yeah.
Because I used to have like this tomboy phase.
Yeah.
And we used
still
to play.
in my tomboy.
Yeah. So we was real close.
Hey, she pulling more bitches than y'all niggas out there pulling. That's all I'm gonna say, and we gonna leave it at that. We gonna leave it at that. That's all I'm gonna say. We gonna leave it at that. But yeah, so like, I was more closer to like the females being raised by females and shit like that.
Yeah,
So
so for us it was different.
and you know me, I'm light skinned.
Yeah.
You heard it when we walked into Amazon. How many people thought I was gay?
The damn near the whole warehouse.
Yeah, because I'm light skinned. The way I talk, I'm very like I'm chill when I'm at home, but like when I go to work and shit, I'm more proper or bougie. You get what I'm saying?
Very bougie. Very.
Like, so I'm more like, because I'm in a corporate America and I've tried to be myself in corporate America, which I'm sophisticated, I'm smart, I'm wise, and I'm bougie outside of work. But when I'm comfortable and shit, you know, that up north slang and all that shit does come out. You know what I'm saying? But in corporate America, you can't let that shit slip at all.
Nah.
So when I'm at work and shit, you know, I'm more cautious of how I talk and what I say and shit like that. So the proper side of me, plus me being light skinned, and plus I don't like sagging my pants and all of that shit, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? People thought that I was like gay and shit, and plus the way I talk and I use big words and shit, like people just thought I was gay and shit. So I've gotten that a lot growing up.
See, for me personally, I like that about him, that he doesn't sag his pants, because I find it gay that you do sag your pants, because it's like you're showing other men your ass. So
exactly,
I find it more, I will respect somebody more that wears their pants properly.
Yeah. Same.
So, but like that was like the biggest things for me in like high school. So having to deal with that, I had to put on a different facade. Like I couldn't like be my other self. Like I couldn't be sophisticated how I'm at the workplace. I couldn't be that in high school. So it's weird because in high school I couldn't be sophisticated, but at work I can't be hood or comfortable. Like, so it's like I had to always flipping between the two.
Damn. Yeah.
So, but even in high school, people used to think I was gay and shit because I still didn't tolerate like a lot of that shit.
Sagging and shit.
I wasn't sagging. I wore a belt. Even if I'm in like skinny pants, I got a belt on.
Good.
You get what I'm saying? Even though the belt would probably be on the first belt hole, but as long as the belt is on, the belt is on. You get what I'm saying? I didn't like sagging. I always thought that shit was suspect.
It is.
But especially like, and the only reason I say it was like suspect is because like, if you're not gay, then why do it? Now, if you're gay and you're sagging, that's your business, that's your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That's who you are. And I accept you for who you are. But if you're telling everybody you straight and doing all of that shit and you're sagging your pants and doing other shit, you're contradicting yourself and you giving false narratives and shit, and you telling people it's suspect. That sums it all up. That shit is suspect as fuck.
Yeah.
But
whatever makes them comfortable, because I be around a lot of people who be sagging, like they whole ass be out, like they private part be out, like it's like damn, you don't feel the wind.
Yeah,
like, come on out, like a little breeze.
Like, hey man, like you mad and you. That's the shit that bothers me really with, especially with this. Like I know have you heard of these people that doing the super straight and all this shit. Like they have a movement out where super straight. It's on. You been on TikTok?
Not really.
If you gotta go.
If you were,
yeah,
you'll be on there for hours.
Yeah, you be on there for hours.
really.
But it's this movement called. They literally create like you know how each GTQ has a letter.
Yeah.
Like they created a fucking letter for super straight.
What?
So it's a whole movement now. Like
Nah.
you're not straight, you're super straight. Like I think it's that like super straight is like, hang on. I don't want to give no false information. Let me use this computer.
This is getting like out of hand now.
Yeah. Okay, a straight person who only dates, super straight is a straight person who only dates people that were born with the opposite gender.
So basically, they were no.
So like
trans or
no
anything.
trans, like you couldn't have been a dude and turned into a female, and now that's who you are, and a guy won't date you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't like transgenders and yeah. So like the example, like he says I'm super straight. Like most people say they straight, but their significant other is a transgender, but they're not. Now that they're a woman, that's who they identify as. So if a man dates a trans that became a woman, he sees her as a woman. But to everybody in the world, they gon' oh no, she's still a trans, she's still this, she's still that, and that's fucked up. You get what I'm saying? It's judgmental. So I don't, that whole movement to me, I'm not gonna say it's stupid, but I don't really let people be who they gonna be. You don't have to sit there and try to put a label on just to make yourself feel better or to if you straight, you straight. Like
exactly.
This movement to me is because people are uncomfortable with
themselves.
Like me personally, like John.
Yeah.
And Terrence.
Yeah.
Both of them are gay or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with them if they having a conversation that's they talking about how they like dudes and stuff like that. Like I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I'm not gonna make them feel no type of way. Yeah. I'm not finna try to I'm gonna walk off on this conversation. Yeah. I'm just gonna get on my phone. Y'all can have this conversation. I'm not gonna make y'all feel no type of way like it's disgusting or it's who y'all are.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say too much on it. I'm just gonna get in my phone and let y'all have
that conversation.
But I'm still y'all friend, so I'm gonna support y'all, and I support who you are. Exactly. You get what I'm saying? Like Terrence has these fashion shows and stuff like that, and he wears like I'm pretty sure some of the clothes he wears.
Everything.
Yeah. So I told him like, I'm still coming down to support you, my guy. Yeah. You're my friend. You get what I'm saying? And it's not people can take it how they want to take it and say what they want to say, but at the same time, if you're comfortable with yourself, you don't have to justify, you don't have to tell everybody like that no homo shit.
Right.
Oh, that shit get on my goddamn nerves.
Man.
Why do you have to say no homo after every sentence? Like, we get it, you're not gay. Nobody else, like you say some people say some sus shit. Only person that you make people think that you're thinking like that by saying no homo. Exactly. You could have a whole conversation. You could have said some sus shit. They didn't pick up on anything that you were saying because they knew that you didn't mean it like that. But as soon as you say no homo, that draws attention to the.
Oh, you gay.
Like you trying to you drew attention. You pretty much make yourself seem gay.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to draw attention to the fact that you just said some sus shit instead of just saying it and letting it go. You get what I'm saying? So that whole no homo movement that shit is outplayed. Yeah. Like I understand when we were younger, we didn't know better. Yeah. Like I used to say it when I was younger. Yeah. I ain't gonna pretend like I ain't never really said that shit. I used to say it when I was younger, but I had to get wiser and shit. And especially like being around like my aunt Robin, who I went to every day, every summer in New York and shit. That's really when it hit home for me. Like I can't keep saying this shit because my aunt she is gay, and I don't want to offend her by saying no homo or making like that type of conversations bother me and shit because that's who she is. I didn't want to make her feel like that. You get what I'm saying? And especially around my cousins, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to make them feel like if they wanted to choose, if they were gay or if they were bi or if they were whatever, that their older cousin wouldn't support them. You know what I'm saying? Especially my cousins, like I love them. You know what I'm saying? And they're my family. Like we used to hang out every summer. Shout out to them. And like, I miss them, you know what I'm saying? Because we used to hang out every summer, but when I went to go stay with my dad and shit, or we were supposed to go down there one summer, but we didn't end up going because I just told her I wanted to spend time with my dad and shit. And ever since then, we haven't made that connection back with each other. But like, those were like my best friends growing up. Like I was able to get away because my aunt and them, like, they lived like a middle class lifestyle. We lived like under middle class. So anytime we went over there, they was always doing trips and shit and doing stuff like that. So it was always fun for us to go down there and hang with them. And my aunt, she's gay. She has a girlfriend. Well, she had a wife at the time, and she adopted. So my cousins, Amir and Amir, Zymira, Josh, I hope I ain't missing nobody. All of them were adopted, but they're blood to me. They're my family. I love them wholeheartedly, especially Josh. Like, I was there when he was, before my aunt adopted him, he was staying with her because she does fostering. Like, she fosters kids. So she chose, like, he was a very problematic child. But it was because of where he came from, being in a foster care. So she took and nurtured. When I tell you she nurtured him, and he's doing so well. Like, he would have tantrums and stuff, but I love that kid. And it was this, and we lost one of them. My aunt lost a child that we really cared about. And it really hurt me because I used to tell my aunt, like, I wanted to turn 18 and adopt him and do all of this stuff. And I really, like, when I found out that happened, like, I know that really, like, depressed me. And it, like, even now to this day, I still haven't, like, because that was, like, honestly, like, my first, like, I felt like that was my first, like, love as far as, like, a child. Like, I actually seen that child as my own. And I was very young because anytime I went to North Carolina, I always, like, helped my aunt make lunches and do shit. Because when I was at home with my mom and shit, I did the same thing. So it was hard for me to turn off that parental role when I went on vacation. She was like, no, go be a kid, go have fun, go jump on the trampoline. I was in there trying to cook, help her. And like, we used to sit down, she would be braiding my cousin Zymira's hair, and we could just be sitting there talking, and she would literally have conversations with me. She treated me like if I wanted to go out and be a kid, she would let me. But if I wanted to sit there and be like an adult or have adult conversations, she wouldn't say, no, you're not old enough. No, she would actually sit down and have those conversations with me.
Really?
So when I was there helping her, I would help her take care of him and see about him and stuff. Me and him really grew a connection, me and the baby. We really grew like a connection. And when I was home, the summer that I didn't go down there, that's when I found out that he passed away. And I was like, it really like hurt me for a long time that I didn't go down there and get to see him and say goodbye. And I'm still fighting that because I love that kid. And I was like, honestly, I seen him as my own child. So that the love that a parent had for a child, I really developed that for him in that short amount of time.
I feel like we're all like battling through some type of guilt. Like, some that we just didn't get to say. Because
I jeopardized going down to see him to spend time with my father, and now me and my father ain't even on good terms at this moment. So I sacrificed me seeing and saying, being able to say goodbye to a child that I seen as my own, that I loved wholeheartedly. Even if I wasn't able to really communicate with him and see him or talk, I hadn't talked to him in a while. But whenever I saw him, that connection that me and him had, like, he always laughed around me. He always wanted me to hold him. It was a connection, and me not being able to say goodbye, that shit really hurt me. And that's why, like, now, like she doesn't even know that, like what I'm getting ready to say now is, like, one of the main reasons why I'm scared to have kids.
Yeah, me too.
Is because I can't take the fear of losing another child. I felt like I lost a child in that moment.
I feel like I lost two people too, my mom and my brother. And I'm scared if I have a kid that my kid is going to end up doing me like how my brother did my mom. So I'm just really fearful of that. So.
It's just hard, and it's just something we gotta, as young Black people, we had something that we have to come together and we have to talk about these mental problems and issues and emotional problems and issues that we are going through, because if we keep it holstered in and keep it inside of us, it's going to eat us up.
It's not good.
You
Because
get what I'm
that's
saying?
what it's doing to me.
And that's what it's been doing to me, you know what I'm saying? That shit's really eating me up. Like I said, she don't even know about it. She's just finding out about this on this podcast.
I've experienced this too.
You know what I'm saying? Like she had a miscarriage when she was young. So it's just everybody has issues and stuff that they're battling and dealing with. And to keep it all in and not speak on it and not say anything, it really helps it hinders us in future.
What I learned was holding it in hurts a lot worse than speaking.
Because you're taking all that anger out on other people that you just meet and shit. You're in so much pain that you're not receptive to new people and new things and shit like that versus you sitting down. So another thing that I want to do separate from this podcast is to start a wise ass group.
Right.
Where we sit down with people who are going through things and don't have a community or somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? If everybody consents to it, then I can record it. But if not, I just want to sit down and talk to people. Have like a meeting every 2 weeks or something. And actually sit down and have these type of conversations. Cause like with the story you just told me, like I was tearing up. Like that shit really like.
I cannot imagine going through that.
I couldn't. Like I don't. You're a strong individual person. And I commend you and my respect. Like you already know I had high respect for you, but my respect and care and love for you has grown a lot just having this conversation with you, because I feel like now we've connected and have like we had a good friendship, like we were like real good friends, but now it's like a brother sister type shit.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel close to you, right? You done met the whole family, so it's like you like my sister now. You get what I'm saying? And you already knew if you needed me that you could call me, but like you know that now like you need me, you need to come over. You know where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Just hit me up. Yeah, just hit me up. But like that's definitely a movement. I have some merch getting ready to come out.
Oh, bet.
With some shirts. And on the shirts, I'm going to put it's going to be for the I'm gonna have some shirts separate for the people who want to come to the wise ass meeting.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm gonna call it.
Do you have a t-shirt press?
I'm getting ready to order one.
I have one at the crib.
Say less. You can help me do this merch then.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's get it done. I'm gonna order some shirts. I just gotta get the shirts, and you got the paper or?
Yeah, I've got everything.
Okay, I'm gonna order the shirts, and definitely within a week or two, hit you up and we can make them and get them done, and then. But that's what I'm gonna be starting. So as soon as I get those shirts ready, that's when I'm gonna start doing the meetings.
That's a bet.
And stuff like that. So I'm letting y'all know in 2 weeks' time, we're gonna have a wave meeting. That's our wise ass meeting or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna create shirts just separate for those who come. It's an exclusive shirt. If you gotta be a part of this meeting and a part of this, like it's basically to grow a family outside of your family.
Hell yeah, I'm with it.
So anybody you know who needs a place to come and sit down and talk, or has something that they holding and want to talk, like I said, it's however much they want to talk about, what they want to talk about. They control the narrative. They control the conversation. Like I told you, I'll shut the hell up and let you have the whole episode to yourself, and I'll just listen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever they want to do, if they want to share it to the world, they can come on and get on the episode. I have a link. I'll send it to you through my link tree for guests anybody you know that wants to come and talk. And they can sign up, and I'll book them, and they can come on and do whatever they want to do and talk about whatever they want to talk about. This podcast isn't centered around just topics that's going on in the world. This shit is centered around shit that you're going on through your life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I don't care if only you and me understand what we're talking about. Right. If the whole world don't really understand or can't relate to it, as long as you got it off your chest and the world heard your story, that's all I care about.
I feel like I released a whole lot today, actually.
And I feel like I finally just hit a milestone talking about Luke. That's what his name was. Like I'm finna get emotional now, but I feel like I've actually been able to release that, and I feel like it was something that came off my shoulders. I really miss him. Like
just talk about it
and I haven't even talked to my aunt about it, so I know she supports me and watches my podcast. So hopefully she reaches out to me and I can talk to her and shit, because I haven't even talked about her and how she dealt with it. So
talk to her. Just talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with her. I need to go down there and see her. Or so.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you for coming on.
Anytime.
You get what I'm saying?
Anytime.
Definitely keep me posted on your different business ventures and stuff, and let me know if
Sure.
you know
There's
anybody
gonna be a
else that
part two.
wanna. Oh yeah, most definitely a part 2. Anybody that else that wanna come on, and y'all heard it here first, man. She's gonna be a person that helps me do this. I'm also looking for a co-host.
Really?
So if you interested, or you know anybody that's interested in co-hosting, I just want somebody that I don't want to do this podcast by myself. I feel like we can get a guest and have 2 co-hosts because I want somebody with a female perspective to actually be able to talk. So I'm looking for a female co-host to be able to talk with guests with me. You get what I'm saying? So if you're interested, you know what I'm saying, we'll work that out. But y'all heard it first here. She's gonna be helping me coming out with this merch and shit. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This has been another episode or a podcast for A Wise Ass View, also known as A WAV Podcast. Y'all, I'm on Spotify. So y'all look me up on Spotify. Spotify is A Wise Ass View, and YouTube is A WAV Podcast. So like again, I appreciate y'all taking time and watching the video and tuning in to us. Like I said, this has been another episode. So peace.
Thanks, guys.